How did secession challenge the U.S. Constitution? Imagine a country where some states decide they no longer want to be part of the whole. That's what happened during the American Civil War. Secession was the act of states leaving the United States. It raised big questions about what the Constitution really meant. Did it give states the right to leave? Or was the Union meant to be forever? The Southern states, starting with South Carolina in late 1860, believed the Constitution was a compact between sovereign states. They argued that, if the federal government broke the agreement, states could leave. They saw themselves as the true parties to the contract and thought they could judge when it was broken. On the other hand, leaders like President Abraham Lincoln believed the Union was permanent. He said the Constitution created a single, united nation. Lincoln believed no state had the right to leave, and the federal government had the duty to keep the Union together, even if it meant using force. Before the war, many debated whether secession was legal. Some earlier leaders, including Federalists during the War of 1812, had talked about secession, but it was mostly associated with Southern states in the 1850s and 1860s. The Constitution's preamble talks about forming a more perfect union, and the Articles of Confederation called the Union perpetual. Still, the Constitution itself didn't clearly say if states could leave on their own. President James Buchanan believed secession was illegal but thought the federal government lacked the power to stop it. The Supreme Court, in cases like Kentucky v. Denison, hinted that the federal government could not force states to act. Some thought that meant secession might be beyond federal control. Lincoln rejected that idea, saying the government must act to preserve the Union. When Southern states moved to leave, it turned into a real crisis. Lincoln responded by sending troops to defend federal property like Fort Sumter. When the Confederates attacked the fort in April 1861, the Civil War officially started. The question of whether secession was legal was no longer just words. It was now a fight on the battlefield. The Southern states claimed that the federal government had failed to uphold the Constitution, especially on issues like fugitive slaves. They argued that breaking the contract freed them from their obligations. The North saw secession as rebellion and insisted the Union was unbreakable. After the war, the Supreme Court made it clear that secession was unconstitutional. In the case of Texas v. White in 1869, the court declared that the Union was indestructible. This ruling confirmed that the Constitution did not allow states to leave the Union on their own. For the Union, secession was a direct threat to the idea of a united nation. The federal government's use of military force to stop secession set a precedent. It showed that the Union could not be broken by individual states. This outcome helped shape the balance of power between state and federal government for many years. In the end, secession challenged the Constitution by questioning whether states had the right to leave. The Civil War and the legal rulings afterward made it clear that the Constitution does not permit states to do so. This helped keep the United States united and define the role of federal authority for generations to come.